two. I shouldn't have two. I should get rid of some.
That's all right. I always
It
put
looks
both.
unprofessional. Select that.
Did you vote in what's the wrong email address?
Yeah, I didn't get it. I was looking for it. Thank God, Gee. Never text me on my phone.
Okay.
Hi. Hi, everyone.
Hello.
It's been too long since we...
It says I think we're on.
5:31.
It says if we're on, we're on.
All right. Welcome, everybody, to the Bus Transit Committee meeting. I'm Jillian Enright. I'm counsel to the committee. So before we begin, I'll just introduce all of our members. The far right, we have Mr. Joel Burst. Next to him, we have Tony Rosario, Jean Dorso, and Miss Dawn Falco.
Good afternoon.
So we're going to start today, have a presentation, and then we'll go into some public comments and some board comments. So we have NICE's CEO, Mr. Jack Kazus, who's going to be giving us a presentation.
Thank you, Ms. Enright. Good to see everybody. I think I've given the board copies of the presentation only because some of it is quite small and hard to read. And if you're me and my age, it's difficult to read. So, but we'll go through the presentation. And please, I'm open to questions at any time from the board, and then we can go from there for everybody else. So the agenda for tonight is just a budget presentation. That's what we're really here to talk about. Service updates, and then the budget vote. This is our general calendar year as it runs. We run with the state calendar, as we know. So 2023 operating budget. I'm very happy to say that over the last 6 years ago, again, with the help of the county and our contract manager, especially Sharon Prasad, we've been able to really stabilize the operating budget and look for growth year over year over year over year without the fluctuations of if you all remember, the first 5 years or so of the contract was up and down in service levels. So I'm very happy to report that our plan for this year is to increase our operating hours and our service levels. They are somewhat affected by inflation, and our costs are increasing, but in general there are no service cuts, there are no planned fare increases into the budget. Again, I'll speak a little bit about fare increases, so there is a caveat to that, but I'll talk about that in a minute. But in general, it's a conservative increase in service with no service cuts ahead. So we're very happy about that. The way the budget breaks out, it's not any different from years past. You can see the large lighter orange area is the State Operating Assistance Fund. That is the majority of our budget. We are looking from the state, looking for the state to contribute $106,500,000. That's a vast majority of our $152,900 operating funds. The state, the governor's office is very supportive of transit, and we look forward to receiving those funds and putting them to good use. The Nassau County required still a match at $2.5 million. The two next series are parts of the FTA that we continue to use to help support the system that are somewhat echoes of COVID. We used the money very smartly and strategically and are able to help. Again, we're not fully recovered yet. We haven't seen all the fare box recovery yet that we would expect. So this money helps bridge that gap. And that's good to see. Passenger revenue is projected just under $30 million. And then non-revenue use or non-user revenue, which is really just the advertising that's on the side of the vehicles. There's some other smaller things there. Also, that's also in recovery. In other words, before COVID, that number was closer to $800,000. It's still recovering a little bit, but it's coming along. So that makes up our budget of $152,900. So the way our fees break down is there's a monthly fixed fee. It's basically overhead operations and facility fees. You can see in 2022, the county paid about $3.9 million, just under $4 million. This year, the fee's gone up slightly to $4.17 million, just slightly. The variable rate is the hourly rate that the county pays for every vehicle on the road. It's broken down into two different rates. There's a fixed route rate and then a paratransit rate. You can see both rates basically stayed the same. The fixed route rate went up a little less than a dollar, not even that. Paratransit rate actually went down slightly. We're seeing a little bit more efficiencies with paratransit customers coming back, and we're able to bundle rides a little better. So again, nothing shocking or different here, pretty standard and easy to go to. The detail, as you can see, we'll go through each one of these very quickly, but operator wages go up slightly. Again, that's more of a function currently of hours served or hours on the road. Maintenance wages go up slightly. Other wages, that's administrative wages, a slight increase. Benefits go up a little bit more aggressively, and that's basically because of health insurance costs. Health insurance costs projected this year are up 11%. It's a huge number. General services, about flat. Fuel and lubricants, you can see it goes down, and you can ask yourself, well, how's that down from last year? The reason being is, again, our fleet is CNG, and CNG has seen quite a beneficial reduction in costs for this year. So obviously the county takes advantage of that. We're a CNG fleet, yay. And plus, fuel costs are down overall, gasoline, diesel, and lubricants that go into that. Parts, repairs are flat. Other material supplies are basically flat, a little down. Marketing, legal, and other fees, basically flat, a little down. Utilities are up. Our electric is up. The cost per electric unit is up. Casualty and liability insurance is flat. Then we get down to corporate overhead is what it is. It's a percentage of total. Our margin at risk is what it is. It's a percentage of total. And then 152.9 is our operating budget. You can see it last year was 148.4, and we're at now 152.9. So a nice progression. We've been able to find efficiencies in the budget by line. Innovation has helped. Every year innovation comes along a little bit more and helps us find efficiencies. So that certainly has helped us along to mitigate some of the inflationary pressures that go up. Yes, first.
What caused the depreciation double?
Depreciation doubled basically because of new vehicles, new equipment to come into play. So
in other words, the vehicles are no longer new; they're now a year old, so to speak. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So on the capital plan side, this is the highlight of the capital plan. The next 2 pages show the detail, and it's an eye chart, so that's why I printed it for you. If you want to go to sleep, please read that. So the operating budget, interior services at Rosa Parks will start later on this year. That's the last phase of the Rosa Parks Hempstead Transit Center redo. It's been a 3.5-4 year project. All the interior surfaces are being redone there. So the walls, the floors, the glass, everything.
Will there be seats inside? More seats?
I'm sorry?
Will there be seats inside?
Seating.
There is heat inside.
No, not
Seats.
seating.
Seats.
Oh, seats? No, not any more seats. No, we've had some issues there, so not even many seats. Yeah, not even
Yeah, well,
seats.
I like to sit,
Yes.
and then you guys use the buses. No,
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Well, we'll continue to monitor that, and hopefully it'll get a little better. But it's gotten a little worse lately, so we've got to be careful there. But I understand what you're saying. I completely understand. Battery electric bus.
Thank you for thinking of me, sir.
Battery electric bus infrastructure. I'm going to talk about that in a minute, but that's on the list for this year. Delivery of 33 new paratransit vehicles. Yay, we're very happy about that. CNG fuel island upgrade. So the fuel island that you see out there with the canopy is going to be completely upgraded. It'll be torn down, new upgraded system, faster pumps, safer pumps with some innovation and technology built in. Currently, we have to actually take physical odometer readings, and the pumps will be able to do that for us in the future. So that'll be nice to see. Digital bus signage at some selected stops across the county. So you'll be able to look up at the stop and see the predicted arrival time of your bus, and then the Omni implementation, which is quite a resource-heavy implementation as we move on to the Omni system away from the Metro card. So those are the major projects that we are hoping to begin this year. Some major project management. Here's the eye chart I talked about. Yeah, if you want to cover one right eye, and then we'll go through it. Again, this is the balance of the capital project. And again, there's a copy in the board members' presentations so that you can look at it. So service updates, what does that do? Jack, it looks like we have about $2.5 million more, or $3 million more. Over the total year of service, we're going to do some fairly minor adjustments to make service better. There's not going to be necessarily a big, ooh, wow, kind of, but we're just happy that we're able to maintain and increase service a little bit, especially frequency. We are going to look at potentially adding another mini microtransit solution somewhere in the county. We have one now in Freeport to Lynbrook. We don't know exactly if we're going to do a second one, but we think we are. It'll be in the second half of the year, and we're going to study where we're going to put that. We're going to study additional opportunities to increase frequency on off-peak routes, especially Saturdays and Sundays. Are going to be two areas that we're going to look at. Again, I'm not sure how much we can really squeeze out of the year, but we'll see. And then we're going to potentially add some express trips. But that's our priorities. Again, it may be 2 or 3 trips here and there. It's not necessarily going to be a big showy wow, but it's important. Other things that we're doing that aren't revenue trips that I want to make sure everybody was aware of, that we do on behalf of the county at no charge for the county or no charge for the riders. And that's the Games and Physically Challenged. We supply all the bus trips for all those athletes to and from Hofstra to Nassau Community College. And we do that for a 3-day period every year. We've done it every year since we've been here. This is year, I think we're doing year 12? 12, yeah, year 12, wow. Yeah. We're supplying chase vehicles for Long Island Marathon again this year. Again, we have paratransit vehicles that literally follow the marathon runners. And if you're like me, you get about a third of the way in, and then you just take the bus for the rest of the way. So that's what we do in the marathon. We do that every year. And again this year, I think the county is planning to do the Eisenhower Park Summer Concert Series again this year. That was very successful last year. We will be doing all the free buses for that also. So we're happy to be able to do that on behalf of the county. So, on the actual capital side, again, you saw me 33 Ford F450s are on the way. They'll be here, I believe, by mid-June. Yeah, by mid-June. So that's great. Again, just upgrading our paratransit infrastructure, making those trips much more comfortable, and those vehicles will be in service relatively quickly after they get here. The only other thing I had was really just to let you guys know that, and I had a slide in there, I think I deleted it because I was so impressed. The electric buses have been delayed again. There's still some technology issues. Currently, the manufacturer is recalled all the electric buses in the field and have put on hold all production. So where we thought we were going to get them, remember, back in October, then we got pushed to December, got pushed to January, and now it's sometime anywhere between late summer and early fall. Now, that's...
Or the second, the coming of Christ, whichever one.
Yeah, well, so the upside to that is it does give us a little bit more time to get the electric charging stations in the ground and ready to go. It does put us back a little bit on running those vehicles and understanding their limitations. I don't want to do that in the winter, obviously, but you know, we have to just be patient, I guess, is the way to go at it. So, yes, Joe.
With regards to those buses, right now, in the TOD DRI work that's going on in Hicksville, there are major issues where they're talking about underground parking, vehicles that have the electric batteries in them, fires in them, and because a regular car requires over 12,000 gallons and it doesn't even burn out, they have to wash it down and let it burn itself out when you get a battery fire. So the fire marshal's office and the Hicksville Fire District are working together with any developer that's gonna put in any stations or have parking for those kind of vehicles. Are we talking to the fire marshal's office now about these buses before they get here?
Yeah, so fire marshal's involved in the whole process. Also too, we have alerted all the volunteer fire companies around the county. Once the vehicles actually get here, we'll go through a full training with them, have them on site. They'll go through a full training on how to deal with those vehicles if anything were to happen. Yeah, but we are interacting with them right away. Excuse me one second.
It has become a major issue because there already have been those kind of battery fires. And for some reason, it's not always because the car was in an accident and the battery got damaged. There are other things that something internally happens.
Yeah.
So it's an unpredictable situation. They burn very hot, very long, and require a tremendous amount of water, where Hicksville has now bought this kind of a cover, like if a car is on fire in the driveway,
Yeah.
they cover the car, they drag it out to the street so it's not by the house,
Yeah.
and let it burn itself out on the street.
Yeah. Luckily, we haven't seen any vehicle fires with transit vehicles that are in service. So hopefully we'll keep our fingers crossed that that's not going to happen. But unfortunately, vehicle fires do happen on transit vehicles also. But we're taking every precaution between now and then to be prepared, and we'll go from there. So at this point, any other questions from the board?
No, thank you, Jeff.
Is that right?
No, anyone else?
I've got a list where other people go, I'll go next. Let them go first.
All right, I'm open up to the public then.
May I?
Yes.
I got the speech right here. Then I'm gonna get going. I know you guys think I'm an annoying pest, but
Not at all, take your time, we do have to limit it to 2 minutes.
so I'll do my
Thank
best.
you.
Well, actually, I was wondering maybe what you do me is supposed to talk.
You want
Can
to
you
record
record me?
audio? Why don't you just hit record audio when you start?
I
No?
like the video. That way people,
He wants to be on TV.
yes, I do.
All right, I got you.
Because I'm a good person and I feel like I should contribute. You see me on the screen? Oh, thanks. To the members of the Transit Advisory Committee, it has been too long since we saw each other, haven't we? Every time I tried to find out when you people are having a meeting, you already had the meeting. I was wondering if you have a mailing service or an email service. That way, when you have these meetings, I can know at least 3 weeks in advance so I can make plans to come to these meetings instead of moping about not coming to these meetings because they are important to me. Anyway, moving on. Have you people come up with ways of restoring the bus lines that were cut? Because this is a prime time opportunity to do so. Because everything is getting more expensive here on the island. From food prices, which my customers complain about all the time, to gas prices, to everything that makes a car county here possible. Let me ask you a question, members of the legislature. Would you stay in a county where everything is too expensive for the common folk? And what will become the services here on the island that when there is no one to administer them? You know, like people like me.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry, I'm
Her
trying.
fingers don't work that fast.
Let me start again. Let me ask you a question, members of the legislature. Would you stay in a county that, where everything is too expensive for the common folk? You know, like food prices, like gas prices, like everything, like insurance, everything?
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't, because,
That's called inflation.
yep. Moving on. And what will become of the services, you know, like cashiers, like those who make the small things possible? What will become of the services here on the island where there is no one to administer them? You know, like doctors, like nurses, like cashiers, like, think about it for a moment while you consider about what you're about to do. Look, you think I'm a pain, right?
No.
but I care about what's going on here on the island, about the people who can't drive anymore, about those who have to pay ever-increasing prices for rent, gas, insurance, and especially food. Wouldn't it be nice to have a service that can take people to where they need to be without having to pay expensive fees to get to places where they need to be? And yet the bus system here on the island is one of the most underutilized because people in Nassau County, at least those that can afford it, would prefer to drive, pay expensive prices on gas, insurance, etc., and also contributing to the CO2 levels here on the island. Wouldn't it be nice if we could use a well-funded service that will make things cheaper and help the environment at the same time? Think about it. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Check the website, because
Can I have your name?
community
Can I have your
meetings
name?
are always listed
Can I have your
there.
name, please, if you're going to
Oh,
talk?
mine?
Yeah.
Okay, Joe Presidio,
Can you spell your last name?
Torcivia.
Thank you.
I got this.
My turn?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, I'll paint a little more positive picture than that, saying once again, I think that you've gotten service levels up to the best that they can feasibly be. I'm satisfied certainly with the weekday Newbridge Road or the Sunday Newbridge Road, which has been my long list of complaints for a long time now. Jack is smiling. The Saturday, those 90-minute headways, I think could be cut down a little, but I know we have to share that time with the 48, so I know that's why. And again, as I said before, if I had a choice of making the trip on Saturday or Sunday, I'll make it on Sunday because the gaps are smaller. When you mention express service, this is something that I've always had in the back of my mind for a long time. You know, you have the N6 going from Hempstead to Jamaica, and you have this 70 number buses going out east. Why not consider, thinking out of the box, an express that goes out Hempstead Turnpike from, say, Levittown or East Meadow, goes into Hempstead, and then continues on, so that you don't have, it's a one-seat ride from, halfway out of the 70 lines all the way to Jamaica Terminal. I think that would be an excellent, if you have a budget to start new express service, I think that would be an excellent way to go. And last thing, to show you just how satisfied I am, you notice I don't come with a paper list anymore. This is going to be my biggest complaint. The new digital signs in lowercase. They are difficult, and my long distance eyesight is good. Short distance, no, my long distance eyesight is good. They are difficult to read.
In Hempstead or in Mineola?
No, on the buses themselves.
Oh, on the buses?
Yeah, and especially if it's an unfamiliar one, or one that I have not seen for years and years and years growing up, like FARMSTCOLL.
Right.
When I see that, I cannot make that out until it's like right up on me.
Yeah.
It's not something that my mind even mentally fills in. Farm
Mr.
State
Savidio?
College.
Mr. Savidio, I'm so sorry, we've run almost done one. Thank you,
But
thank you so much.
There it is.
Yeah, we got the gist.
Can I just maybe add one more tiny thing, and then I'm gonna be out of here.
We're gonna have to let someone else just have a chance that hasn't had the opportunity.
I'm sorry, yeah.
I'll
That's okay,
talk
just
to you
your-
right after,
your
okay.
2 minutes. Thank you.
Is there anyone else who want to make any comments?
Yeah, so at this point, I thank you for your comments, and I'll speak to you individually afterwards. Thank you very much. At this point, I'd like Ms. Enright to call for a vote to approve the 2023 operating budget.
Before you do that, I just hearing what everybody else said, since they didn't ask the questions I had on my list here. Number one, just out of curiosity, when that Omni comes into effect, is the MetroCard gonna be completely discarded?
Not completely, they'll have a sunset date, so there'll be an overlap.
Okay.
So about 1.5 years right now is the plan, but it's not my plan, it's the MTA's plan. So we'll see how that.
Speaking of that august body, the MTA, I heard through the grapevine that they're not gonna do transit increases right now, they're hitting it every other way possible.
Well, that's a good point, Joel, and I forgot to mention it. We talked a little bit about fare increases, and right now there is nothing planned. But again, our fare policy follows the MTA's fare policy. I don't believe, this is just me speaking and listening to my sources in Albany, I don't believe there will be a fare increase this year for the MTA. If there is, it'll be a reduction in some sort of bonus on your Metro card or on bridges and tunnels, and not necessarily on the actual fares. But we'll keep our fingers crossed.
My Albany sources are where I got that also.
Yeah.
And speaking of that, Senator Steve Rhodes communicated to me yesterday that they are very apprehensive that Saturday, April 1st is not going to be a good day, that they're going to get held over in Albany because the budget's not going to go through.
Yeah,
And
potentially.
how does that affect us moving forward if we vote for the budget now?
It won't. Our budget is locked in. We've changed the way we've approached this. We know that our budget is our budget, and that's what we're going to go forward with. So there is little to no risk that the budget's going to come in lower than it is, and the county's already made appropriations to make sure that this budget is what I just presented. So that's what we're going to vote on. This is not a potential budget, this is our operating budget.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, at this time, we'll open it up if anyone wants to make a motion to approve the 2023 operating budget.
I make a motion.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? No. All right, and that is approval of the 2023 operating budget.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So I think we can adjourn the meeting now, Ms. Enright, if that's okay with you and the board.
Yeah, any last questions? for the board?
No.
All right.
Can I just ask you guys something? How do I
You done
do?
with me? You done, right? Go ahead and close this?
Huh?
We're just gonna adjourn.
Yeah.
You did a great job.
Mhm.
I move to adjourn.
Second?
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
I don't want to adjourn, I want to stay here forever together, we're having so much fun.
We'll be back soon.
How about that?
Sorry, that's.
I know,
Can I have a little bit of-
I know he said
Okay.
There is one tiny thing. Get my hand.
No, that's okay. Mine.
You think yours? Yes.
I mean, I know that it depends on where you were.